Good evening, everybody. Anti-Bully Diva here. What a week. Coming on momentarily will be Stephen Lewis. As you know, he helps me out here on the Bully Effect. We're going to be doing this live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Weekend review. So, hi, Kevin. How you doing? How's Kevin doing? I am waiting for Stephen to jump over here, so I hope everybody is doing good out there. But I love coffee so much, I wore my I Love Coffee t-shirt. Yes. Go me. I'm so glad you're doing great. How's Joe? How's Joe doing? Good evening, Christopher. Ephraim, hi. Welcome. We are going live. Weekend review. We're going to be doing this every Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. Stephen Lewis and I. How are you doing, Ephraim? Long time no chat, Christopher. Ha ha. See, I smile sometimes. Here he is. Well, it says it's adding.
Hey, good
Well, that's
afternoon and
good.
good evening. The world's loneliest highway.
Hi, Stephen. How you doing?
I'm here. It's been a rough weekend.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But what a heck of a week I had on the Bully Effect, huh?
Yeah, it's been an interesting week on the show and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure has. Especially when I dedicated a full week to one particular subject. I've never done that before. Mm-mm.
And you came up with some great platforms for it. I mean, that was no easy task. You did your homework
Oh
real
my
well.
gosh, all the research I did on this, particularly because I wasn't aware of this before one of the viewers or listeners before when she pointed it out to me, you got to take a look at this. And I was like, oh, well, now I know.
Well, Steven Anderson is no stranger to the LGBT community.
Yeah, well, I wasn't aware of that until somebody made me aware of that. But weekend review, Stephen, take it away. Your thoughts on everything. Massa.
Well, years ago we had Fred Phelps and Westboro Baptist
Mm-hmm.
Church, and I went and he protested funerals of our soldiers who came back and blamed it on the LGBTQ plus community, their deaths, and people like him faded away,
Mm-hmm.
and my idea about Anderson is that he will just be a memory one day. His words will not uh, make will disappear. I mean, we will unite against him, just like we did against Phelps, and I think overall he has no real power, and there are worse things out there that we must concentrate on.
Well,
But that's just me.
good afternoon, Miss Teresa. How you doing? And Mark, how you doing, Mark? Um, my plan is because he's the hot topic, and I'm not just talking about here on the bully effect. I'm talking about worldwide right now. Um,
Right.
and massa, make America straight again. My thing is I want to have him and everybody affiliated with massa that is like, up there, that like to uh, put their stuff, their hate speech or sermons, whatever they want to call it. But I want to deplatform them. So that is my goal. I'm gonna deplatform every member out there. Take away their audience. They don't have nothing on social media to warp anybody else's minds out there.
Well, that's the problem with the social media, is that people like this are giving um, platforms and elevate themselves to standards that a lot of us don't agree with. And there are certain people in politics that so elevated is that it just makes the world a little more crazier.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, not to name any names, but Twitter is one of the worst apps out there that sponsors far right ideals, and also other corrupted types of things that should not be allowed. And it's also a platform that is out of control. And that's what we're talking about, is creating a balance where we say, hey, this is the bottom line. Okay, this should not be allowed on social media, in real life, but not every country has that privilege either. And that's another point we need to stress, is that there's a lot of problems in the LGBTQ plus community worldwide, and we also got to think about the other people around the world that will be laughing at this and saying, "You guys have no idea how bad it is over here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take away from your message or anything else. I'm just trying to say, there are bigger fish to fry if we're going to target constructively, as you have this past week, against one problem. The one problem is just a strain of a disease that's worldwide. I mean, it's not just one thing to focus on.
Right. No, it's not. And as you know, I dedicated the bully effect this week to this one problem, but coming tomorrow, we need to also focus on the other problems going on in the world, and like any right.
Right.
And that's what the bully effect is about. It's about helping people that are being bullied or want to share what they've been through so they can help the community around them, or whoever else has been through what they're going through or what they have been through. And that's what I'm all about. It's about helping people.
Okay, the Bully Effect has a smaller audience than my
Mhm.
pages, but the Bully Effect has my pages support 100%, and we're out here coexisting with you and trying to make the world a little better on both sides, because homophobia and bullying go hand in hand. We can't just do it by ourselves. We got to join together with sensible logic and be a voice out there. And for the last 5 years, you and I have been doing our best, and it's not an easy job. I've said from the beginning, working for the Bully Effect is the hardest job I've ever done of all the things I do.
Well, Christopher goes on.
It has to be truthful, honest. It has to be straightforward. Whatever I write can't just be a bunch of written nonsense. It has to come from truly within.
Christopher goes on to say that it makes it colder, as well, I believe, talking about the Massa situation. So, but yeah, when I started the Bully Effect, I did not know the lengths I could humanly possibly go to. But it's worth it. As far as my page being relatively smaller, it's all good because I don't look at how many followers I have. I'm looking at who's really listening, who needs the help, who can pass on the help. It's even if I had 37 followers like I did a long time ago, I would still do it even if I had 37 followers. I would still think it was worth it. But with that being said, when I had my podcast show, the Bully Effect, the podcast show itself, I had the #1 anti-bully podcast show in the world.
Well, I must say I'm surprised this past week of how many people have been following you all the 4 days of you speaking, and the response has been great. So kudos to you, and we both appreciate how much support we're getting for the return of the Bully Effect.
Hi, Trey.
It's not easy getting up here versus being on radio.
No.
And it would have been insane for me to even think 5 years ago when we did our first interview that I'd be doing this. And I'm 100% more confident in myself, and not even thinking about any less.
Nope, there you go. Miss Kayla, welcome to the Bully Effect. And you're absolutely right. We really need to make America love again. That's totally agree.
And hello, Kayla, a new friend of mine who I haven't had a chance to talk to, but I'll be looking forward to getting to know her better, and so she understands our struggle, that we're here not just voices on virtual paper, but we are here live in person and as real as we can do it. Just because I have XYZ amount of people on my page, the point of these exercises is that we are real. We're not a bunch of BSers. We mean what we say. We stand up for what we believe in.
The big difference between podcasts and these live feeds, because when I was doing my podcast, I could literally sit there in my PJs or lounge pants. Now I have to somewhat look presentable, Stephen.
Reflecting on our interviews 4 or 5 years ago, the way you sound and how you approach yourself now compared to then is totally different in my ears. I mean, you sound more confident, more direct to the audience. We could actually see it and feel what you are expressing, and that kudos to you.
I thank you. I think it has a lot to do with going live. They can actually see the person behind the voice, you know.
The radio part is different. I mean, it's a different tone. A lot of the shows you had were great. We got some great guests on the show over the years, but this format is more
Hmm.
personal, and I think it's great.
And they can see all the funky little outfits that I'm probably able to wear, like, my Harry Potter gear. I think that's important.
It's like how many people noticed a cat was that walked behind you the
Hmm.
other day.
Yep, it's all the personal stuff. They can tell that I'm a real
Or
human.
that you were drinking coffee with a Dallas Cowboys cap.
Yes, yes. And we've agreed to disagree on that, and mm-mm, nope.
I just I didn't when you were live the other day and I saw that I wanted I was like I just like I just politely moaned and
Hmm.
didn't say nothing
Yeah,
extra, but
well,
you caught on pretty quick.
that was, that might have been a little baited there for you,
It's an inside joke between us. I mean,
Mr. Raiders fan there.
of all the seriousness we do, we always we have to have something to be able to laugh
Right.
on, you know.
Christopher has something he wants to
And
say. Bringing all this hate and bullying to light is a much needed process in today's times. We're all human, not one better than the other, and none should put down the other. And that is why, specifically why, y'all have the anti-bully diva. Because I'm a firm believer in that. That's why I'm here.
we're not we're not here to combat hate speech with more
That's
hate
right.
speech. And
And it,
we like we can express a certain disdain for certain things, qualities of a person we're talking about, but we're not here to uh, be hypocrites to our
right,
causes. And I stand for the LGBTQ plus community and the bullying community in that
right.
sense. And I get a little hate once in a while because I won't feed into the social media
Hmm.
hate. It's not that kind of ideal as beneath me, and I refuse to do it.
Well, that's where you and I differ a little bit. It's not like I feed into them, but if it's directed towards, let's say, a whole community, yeah, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut.
I mean, we'll just touch on Trump just politely for a
Okay.
moment. I know I'm not a fan of him, but if I was going to come out here and make this long-winded speech like Stephen Anderson does with his preaching about anti LGBTQ plus community members, uh, that would be quite contradictory for what I stand for.
Hmm. It's not that.
I mean,
It's not that.
and that's the point of being an advocate.
Right.
There's a certain line we have to draw.
Right. It's not like that I
I
was
mean,
attacking them because as I was doing the live feeds, hi Jasmine, as I was doing the live feeds, and I reiterated over and over again that, I wasn't out there to attack Massa or any members of Massa. It's just that the public needed to be aware of the situation that was going on because,
I stand up. I stand up with you. What I'm agree with you. What you how you presented yourself. um, uh, you had more control than some other people would have. And if I tried this subject the way you did, I probably would have said a few things I probably regret compared to you.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I bit my tongue a lot. I'm not gonna lie. When I first found out, I'm glad I did not go live as soon as I found out because, you know, the sweet little sweet pea that Kevin, you know, refers to me a lot all the time wouldn't have been so sweet. But
talk about Mr. Kevin.
yeah, Peaches.
Kevin does a great job over at Born Gay, Born LGBT pages of
All
mine,
of them,
and
all of them that
I,
help you do a
I can't speak more highly of
yeah, all
anyone.
of them that help you out are awesome for doing what they do.
And Ephraim and
Yep.
David, Graham Uphill, Jace, so many people. But you know, they all do an awesome job, and it was Kevin who kind of brought me out of my speaking closet and got me out here and said, "The heck with it! I'm going to start doing my own videos."
Right. Jeff goes on here. Hi, Jeff. Sometimes we don't always have access to the news. Every voice matters. Every what? I hate that part, but every voice. Okay. Um,
Maybe he said, "Man, they." Uh,
but
every voice does matter. I mean, you and I are two different individuals. You mentioned it yesterday. I called us. You're the yin and my yang. It's like we're total opposites, but we are kind of polar opposites where we're on the same wavelength.
right. And I touched live on that on David Rag, Kevin Rag. No, David, I'm right. Pastor David show, open forum. Like I'm the yin to your yang, and vice versa. Because where you're better at writing the words down. Christopher says we're all awesome for doing what we're doing, and just to let everybody know, Christopher is going to be throwing his hat in there to help me out a little bit with like self-harm victims because sometimes I do get a little overwhelmed. So he said he will do his best to help out, and I appreciate that, Christopher. You have no idea.
Well, you got a good start of the return of the bully effect, and I gotta get out there and start lining up yes again for you.
Yep. Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm working on the third week from tomorrow already. Third week with guests. They're coming to me.
I heard a gentleman named Lamont Weed is coming on soon.
This Tuesday.
I look forward to that. I heard the original interview. What was that? 6 or 7 years ago, maybe that you did the original. On the podcast.
What do you mean?
With
Lamont Wheat actually,
Lamont
Wheat was actually on both my shows because at one point I was doing 2 shows, Catch a Dream and the Bully Effect, and he did both shows, so he is no stranger to the Bully Effect or no stranger to me. It was so sweet though because after he was on the Bully Effect, which at the time, like my mom would frequently call in. She was flirting with that man like there was no tomorrow. Live, it was so cute. And then I got off. I finished doing the podcast show, and I called her up, and I was chuckling up a storm. And then she goes, "What's wrong?" I said, I just want to inform you, just in case you missed the part where I said he was gay. And she said, oh no, really? And I said, yeah. So,
I look forward to your Tuesday interview.
mhm.
Uh, listen, I listen to the broadcast for the Bully Effect of his interview very carefully, and he was very beautiful, spoke very beautifully of just being as human and real as can be, and we need more people like him in this world that who's
July
make him.
2nd, Sherry White will be on the Bully Effect. So,
That's
yes,
awesome.
she's an author. So, but I've got quite a few already booked for the Bully Effect Live, so stay tuned. I mean,
So are we going to do this every Sunday, a weekly
yep,
review?
every Sunday. Me and you. So,
Does that mean I have to start taking notes?
maybe. Hi,
Maybe.
Miss Kaylee Moon. How are you doing, honey? But, yeah, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That way, I mean, we've messaged quite a bit back and forth, you and I, Stephen. And the first
Right.
legit face-to-face we ever had was on your live feed, Born Gay. That was the first time we ever met,
Right.
like literally face-to-face. And now we're going to be doing it on a more regular basis, so you can put your voice out there too, because this man works all week.
You will always have, I will always have your back and the Bully Effects, and I got a whole bunch of friends behind me that got your back. So
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, Peaches, Muffin,
Oh, yeah.
and Sunshine.
Yes. I've got to come up with a nickname for Christopher. I'm just thinking he needs a nickname.
For Ephraim?
No, Christopher. Um, the
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's an ordained minister, so I might have to be careful with this one. So, but he needs to know I have a sense of humor too. So I might go the total opposite of what he might expect. Who knows?
Your interview, or the show with you and Pastor Dave was great yesterday.
Yeah, open forum. Kelly's doing good. She went swimming today with her parents and best friend, and her niece. So that's good. I didn't go swimming, but I rearranged the living room. If anybody considers that fun.
My my high school classmate, Mitch Brenneman, just joined us.
Okay.
Hey, Mitch.
Hi, Mitch. Welcome to the Bully Effect.
Somebody who actually knew me in high school. Anybody that knew me in high school would be like kind of flabbergasted if they knew what I do now.
I got his nickname. Christopher, you are now Batman. Inside joke. Christopher.
What'd you call him? Batman?
He's Batman. He's Batman.
Okay.
Yeah. From now on, Christopher, you will be known as Batman. Even publicly speaking, so, get used to it, Batman. Jet Blanco's, and when we're not live, we need to be out there being kind. Every act of kindness changes minds. not selling our sexuality or our differences, just being kind to one another. That's what he says. Kaylee Moon wanted to know how I'm doing. I'm doing all right. Maybe tired, but stop by anytime you need to, Kaylee, because I'm gonna be doing this every week. And Christopher goes, oh, I'm sorry. Batman goes LMAO. So he's Batman.
And there's Kevin Hammond. Hello, Kevin.
Peaches, which I said hi to him earlier. We got Peaches. So let me get this straight. Your cupcake, yeah, I said that live for everybody who is going to see this now and in the future, and on YouTube. On YouTube, don't forget that, because as soon as we're done here,
well, yeah, we're on YouTube for the first time.
As soon as we're done here, I'm going to take this live feed and put it over onto YouTube, so everybody is going to know that Stephen Lewis is Cupcake. We got Cupcake.
Kayla, why would I?
Go ahead.
Kayla, why would people be flabbergasted? Because I'm not the person I used to be 30 years ago.
Yep.
I found my own voice and self-being over the last 30 years, and I was never a very vocal person as I am today.
No, you've come a long way since you were on the first podcast show. You don't stumble as much as you used to because you were so shy. Cupcake was shy. He's not so shy anymore.
Somebody that knew me 27 years ago described me as shy and quiet. That I went to school with. And they're like,
Well.
So, yeah, we all come out of our own shell, and sometimes we can even impress ourselves, like, did I really do that? And there are moments where I'm like, I look back at something and I'm like, really? I did that?
Yeah. Jeff Blank goes on to say, and I read this, I try to read all of them because, like I said, this is going to go over onto YouTube after I'm done doing this live feed here on Facebook for the Bully Effect. So if you have YouTube, go follow me on YouTube. Go subscribe. Let's see. Jeff goes, I know that makes sense. Just because we're angry at an organization having done doesn't mean we have to be angry all the time. We have to be kind and not look at people by a label. I know what Jeff is getting at. He goes, we are the voice of God, and we don't speak ill. Woo, congrats. But let me see. Yeah, and from time to time, I'll probably have a live feed to lighten everything up because everything on the Bully Effect is so serious. And sometimes I do act like a nut. Even in my post, I will act like a nut. But last night, my daughter's cat, Lucy, was looking like she was stalking me out of her little cat tree house. But I will lighten the mood because you have to be a little silly. You have to have a sense of humor doing what we do. You have to. It's why he's Cupcake.
Absolutely. If I couldn't have a sense of humor, it would be not any challenge. I mean, the insanity of this world would eat us up. We have to have some kind of balance in between.
Kevin's got a message for you, Stephen. I've always told you you are awesome, and you are.
Thank you, Kevin. I love you, brother.
Batman goes on to say, I'm not the same person I was back when I was like in high school. Yeah, Jeff Black laughs a lot. Well, that's good because we need laughter in this crazy world. Yeah, I wasn't. Before I started doing any podcast show at all, you would not believe. I used to be as shy as you, Stephen. Literally.
I wasn't a very popular person in school, and I was bullied a lot and had my own issues growing up. I was a slow learner. Yes, I once had a coworker ask me years ago, who saw my writing before I got it out there online and such, saw my writing. He says, "Steve, how is it that you can write so well and yet you can be so stupid at times?" And don't take it as an insult, but I mean, we all have our troubles, and comprehensions. And the thing is, it's like, we're all human.
Oh my God. Jeff Blank goes, I'm so shy, my last name is Blank.
Hey, Jeff, we have a professional comedian friends we could refer you to if you want tips on comedy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to break Jeff out of the shell next. He's on my to-do list now.
Comedian friends.
Yeah. But if everybody loses me, I want to apologize now. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And now I think that Jeff is being a little sarcastic. He goes, oh, honey, I'm so broken.
Oh.
Kevin goes, I was never popular, but as I got older, I said, what the hell? Let's see what happens. And thus, we have Peaches.
Before we met, I was in a situation with our departed friend, who died last year. That we were in a situation dealing with a lot of LGBT issues, and we were the novices in a group, and we basically stood up to the plate when nobody else seemed to. But and that's basically what we're doing here at the Bully Effect, is that we're standing up to the plate and doing our own thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And if it helps somebody out there, even one or two of them, that's great.
Right.
And that's what the point of having various pages I run and help out, like the Bully Effect. You have to you don't let it go to your head. You have to be put your heart and soul into it.
Stephanie, welcome to the Bully Effect. She goes, hey there. Just wanted to say thanks. She goes on to say, just wanted to say thanks for standing up to the hater and the bullies. Don't worry, I got your back, Stephanie. Jeff Black, or Kayla goes, I'm beautiful and broken. well, you're beautiful. You're not broken. Um, Jeff Blank goes on to say LGBTQ is not a clique, it's a lifestyle, just like being a Christian is a lifestyle. And there are a lot of LGBTQ plus Christians, and there are.
You know, I'm not going to go into details of my struggles in the first 43 years of my life. I'm 51
Hmm.
now, but I was so down uh, in my 43rd year, and depression almost got the best of me, and I decided instead of giving up, I decided to start living again, and after coming out is just part of the journey of all what I've done and continue to do today, and my way of giving back to the
Right.
community.
Um, Jeff goes on to say the LGBTQ plus people that don't, let me see, that understand that I think it's all about sexuality, and that's far from the straight people have random sex with prostitutes, male or female. Prostitute sexuality has nothing to do with, yeah, I agree. God does not beat us up. He just wants us to represent. He wants us to know. Um, yeah, I get the gist of that, but if there's is there anything else you want to touch on? Because I have a chunky monkey and he's not having it no more.
Well, Grandma, I think you better go take care of your chunky monkey,
Yeah,
but I think we're doing okay for now.
yeah. So stay tuned tomorrow. We're live here on the Bully Effect. It will be David Brown, aka Muffin, and he's got a story to tell. So I'll be back here tomorrow, live, me, David Brown, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So stay tuned. And, on the behalf of myself and my sidekick here, Stephen Lewis, we want to thank you all for backing us all up and your continued support. And like I said, I am back. I am live. We are live. And we love you. Be that beautiful voice that you are.
My voice?
Everybody's voice. Everybody's got a beautiful voice. Thank you, Batman. So, we'll see y'all live tomorrow night here on the Bully Effect. We love you and God bless.
Bye bye.